Okay, everybody, welcome back to another edition of TaxProTalk, or hashtag TPT. My name is Anthony Hunt, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Miss Carrie Weston this morning. Carrie, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. I appreciate you inviting me.
Awesome. This is definitely a different scene for us here on TaxProTalk, as Jim is not here and Carrie's in Jim's place. We are actually coming to you from the AICPA trade show Engage here in Las Vegas. That's what we're doing here today, and I was lucky enough to grab Carrie.
Yes, what you didn't say was that I solicited you to come
That's
talk.
right, that's right. That's how we initially engaged.
Exactly.
Social media is a big connector for everyone in the industry, so that's how we did connect. So what we want to do this morning, Carrie, there's a lot of changes going on in the industry.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions going on, so I have a few for you this morning, if you don't mind. But before we do get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your role and background here at the AICPA.
Sure. So I spent 20 years in the accounting profession, really split my time between tax and accounting services. And the other thing is that during that time, I had a real passion for technology and advancing the profession. And I had a lot of opportunities in the roles I had to do that. From moving to paperless to cloud to, in fact, I believe we were using Intuit's products when they went from a DOS-based model to a Windows-based model.
Nice, okay.
I'm dating myself, but yeah,
That's
so
okay.
technology, paperless, all of that. So I've been involved in that initiative as well. So I'd say really just the future of the profession has been my background. For 20 years, I'm always looking for the next thing.
Very good. And then there's a lot of changes happening, especially with tax reform.
Yes.
So what excites you most about tax reform?
So
if it can excite you.
It excites me. Yeah, I know that's uncommon, but yes. So honestly, it's the change, really. I love change. I always have. I know that our peers don't embrace change that much, but I would say it's the fact that anytime you change something, it shakes things up, but it makes you reevaluate what you're doing.
Sure.
So right now, I might not be happy, and I won't quote percentage of how much I agree with or I'm happy with, but I will say what it is doing besides the change is it's putting the spotlight on tax. And tax is one of those areas
it's huge.
that,
Love it.
Outside of January to April, it doesn't get a lot of attention, right?
That's
So it's in the focus all the time now, and I think it's putting our practitioners in the focus as well.
Fantastic. And so what are you hearing from current members with tax reform and post-season?
Sure. So I think people feel a little calmer now that tax season is over.
That's a plus.
That's definitely a plus. Prior to tax season, there was a real panic. The bill wasn't signed in until right at the end of the year. So, people had about 7 or 8 days to make any last-minute tax planning changes that might have impacted the year. So there was a lot of stress. What we heard from members during tax season was primarily the concern about having intelligent conversations with their clients on tax reform when they didn't know much about it themselves.
That's right.
I would say that now, post-tax season, the concerns have lessened, but it's more about the strategic planning. It's more about the guidance and where there isn't clarity and where we're looking for that, where everyone is looking for that.
Yep. And so is there anything that AICPA is focused on to help the profession navigate tax reform, or as we talk about education and maybe getting into more tax planning with their clients? Anything you guys are guiding on?
Oh, we're doing a lot of things in that
good.
area. We are, absolutely. You don't have enough time for me to tell you everything, but I'll say probably the best thing to do is we have a tax reform resource center. It's aicpa.org/tax reform. And really, it's got a lot of news. It's got a lot of updates. Every time the IRS issues guidance, it's there. And that's for everyone. That's everyone, the public, they're all available to that. But we also, we've got a ton of CPE courses out there. We're producing new materials. In the tax section alone, we've created resources like PowerPoints for people to give presentations. We're producing technical guidance as we have it, and we know a lot of client letters, and I know you do that as well, which
absolutely.
They want that. People
need
that.
They need that help, especially around this transformation that we're going through is leading more into tax planning strategies, and we're seeing a lot of that. So is there anything around tax planning is creating a lot of change in the industry? So is there anything that AICPA is doing to help coach these firms deeper on maybe tax planning strategies if they're not already doing that?
So we're just starting to kick that off. What we were telling members during tax season, and really it was because of the level of anxiety being so high, was we called it tax planning light. So we said during tax season, don't overwhelm yourself with getting to know this. Just do minimal planning, plan for the end of the year. But this is really the time that you need to advance your skills. Between the technology creeping up on us and now tax reform, it's the time for us to advance our skills and to show those advisory services. So we have certificate programs, we have a lot of webcasts. In fact, we just have a webcast on how to talk to your clients about opportunities using the tax return.
Yep.
We just rolled out a new page that's called the Tax Planning and Advisory Services. And really all it is about, if you're a practitioner, you're a CPA and that's in tax, is what you should be doing to transition to the higher level advisory.
Exactly. That's
and
right.
sort of guides. So there's some roadmaps, there's some things like start with the 1040 and plan from there.
And go from there.
Yeah,
That's right.
There's a ton of good resources.
Jim and I talked about in the previous episode is take a small sector of your clients, usually your 1040, and start from there and then branch out.
That's
and go from
exactly
there. So
right.
great guidance there.
Yeah.